What is up, guys? We got NotTheWorst here, bringing another Black Desert online video, and today we're taking a look at the patch notes for August 23rd. We did finally get the class buffs and nerfs that we saw hit D&D Global Labs a few weeks back in KR last week, so that's pretty exciting. We've got some events, some cool login rewards, and something really cool in the event. So let's go ahead and jump in, take a look at what's up. First of all, we have the season early graduation is now available. Don't need to really drill that down because we know the drill through however many seasons it's been now, 8, 9, 10, something like that. So you get your normal rewards for it. As they mentioned before, there's not going to be any new accessory rewards added, so it's another 100 stack to pick that up, and you may actually want to do that for one of these events coming up, which we'll get into in just a little bit. If you didn't receive any of the past rewards, you can choose to get those instead. So if you do want to get your pen neck, Capotia neck or something like that, you still can, so don't worry about that. You can pick up any of the ones that you want to. Moving over to events. So first we have limitless login and the buffs keep coming login. These are just refresh on the login rewards and then a bonus one where you're actually going to be getting value packs along with Book of Old Moon and Blessing of Commissylve throughout the week. So that's really nice. Added bonus along for just literally logging in. We have Vanquish the Aberrant Dark Rift. Well, it says Rift, but you know, I think they're called Dark Rifts. Anyways, Vanquish the Aberrant Dark Rift. I guess you're pulling out the guitar and coming up with a little tasty jam. Play that riff there. So that's just the added 3 bosses that we've seen before, and they have the chance to drop those boxes that will give you some boss gear potentially. So that's a Liber, Skeleton King, and Tidium. So they are likely going to be spawned as soon as you log in. Because that's typically how they work. They actually like turn it off. The spawn timer doesn't reset, so you probably have all 3 as soon as you log in, and they're probably on easy mode. But we have Patricio's Night Market Madness. They have changed the price cap for the items that come up in it to 150%, which is reduced by 50%, and the energy cost is also 50%. It's been a long time since I played with Night Vendor, but they did add a couple of new items, so maybe this is worth it. I'll at least check it out if it's not doing anything with energy anyways. But they've added in some Valk's Cry box, Scorching Sun shard box, and a memory fragment box. So with the discounts, I would imagine these are probably a pretty decent deal. Then they've increased the probability of getting a Massive Pure Magic bundle, Hards and Sharps, Concentrated Magical, and then also the boss weapons, boss gear, accessories, and Advice of Valk's boxes as well. So if you're not using it for anything else, not life skill right now, why not? Then we have, well, before I touch on this one, they have a time for Pen Tuvala and pen accessory. So the pen accessory thing is they're going to double up on the rewards from Jatina to get your Blackstone powders, to get your guaranteed pen upgrade item if you haven't finished that yet. And then you've also got these treasure chests that are going to appear from the Rift Echoes, the season scroll type running thing that you have, and it has a chance, higher chance to drop those Frozen Tides Blackstone to give you a guaranteed upgrade to Pen Tuvala if you are pursuing that. So not too shabby there. Next up, we have It's Time to Push the Limit for a 230 stack, which is quite a mouthful for the name of an event. This was actually kind of confusing to me when I first kind of glossed over it, so I had to dig down to kind of understand it. And a few people in the Discord were kind of asking for how this works. So I'm going to explain it to you so everyone can kind of understand pretty clearly. If you're not interested, just skip on ahead to the next section when we start talking about class buffs. Okay, so essentially what you're going to be doing is you need these Essence of Limits and these Essence of Devouring, and you heat those 2 items, and you're going to get an Origin of Dark Hunger. Okay, the Origin of Dark Hunger can then be devoured into a current stack. So you put a 100 stack in there. You are going to devour that item, and it's going to increase a set amount based on what that stack is. Okay, so they outline for us if the stack that you have on there, not including your Valk's Cry or bonus enhancement, if you have +4, you know, whatever from quests, rewards, whatever, those are not counted. So what the actual stack is, 100 to a 105. If you devour one of those items on it, you'll go up by 11, and then you can see through the chart it decreases slightly. So if you're at a 209 to 227 and you devour one of those, it's going to increase the stack by 3. And again, you can still Valk's Cry plus boost your stacks beyond that as well with these items. Okay, so the next question is, how do you get these 2 items? Well, you have 2 different things that you'll need to do. First of all, the Essence of Devouring that you need to pick up is going to be purchased from the Arms Dealer in Velia for 300 million silver. Okay, so it's not going to be super cheap. However, 300 million silver to push some of these stacks at certain points is extremely worth it, like for sure. So if you've done a lot of fail stacking before, so that's slightly costly. The other item you're going to pick up by getting the Seal of Challenges from killing monsters, gathering or fishing, whatever, for it, and you have different turn-ins that you can do. So for 4 times you can turn in 80 of those to get 4 of these items, right? So 4 times 4 is 16, right? So that would give you 16 times that you could juice up a stack potentially in max from the gathering gathering, fishing, and monster killing for it. In addition to that, you have some other items that you can turn in multiple times. If you remember those Golden Blessing of Agris from the Termian event that just ended, you can pick up that 2 times, 2 of them 2 times, so 4 of those. That the item drop amount plus 100%. That doesn't impact your Agris usage as well. You can pick up a 100 stack for 150 seal exchange. We've also got a classic box, nostalgia classic box for 150 seals. So some really nice items outside of that too as well. Maybe the enhancing stack thing doesn't even interest you. You could skip over this entirely and pick these up. But if you do want to get the stacks, then obviously you're gonna want a gun for that one, and then spend that 300 mil per item to get it. So it is going to cost some silver, but pretty worth it in my opinion. So then they kind of give you a breakdown of, I suppose, efficiency, how to use your stacks efficiently for it. So if you've got multiple 100 stacks, they just use an example here. If you get use event Origin of Dark Hunger 25 and get a 230 stack out of that one from one of your 100 stacks, and then you'd be able to make the other one into a 129 from there. I'm not sure if 100 to 129 is super worth the, what is that, about $1 billion? Yeah, it's probably still worth it to go from there. Or you could do 2 192 stacks from 100. Then they just give you examples. I have several 150 stacks. You could do 2 203s and a 102. You could do a 229 and a 195. Just kind of giving you an idea of how to use these items for it. If you have several 200 stacks, you could do 3 230 stacks and a 204, whatever, right? 230 being relevant because you could 10 Valks cry that, and then you have a 240, which is a nice little 5% for your Pen Blackstar or your Tet Fallen God, Tet Labreska, or what have you there. So you're also going to get the once a day challenge. This is going to be outside of the 16 that you're going to get, 16 items that you can do for the exchange for the seals. So the challenge rewards for logging in on each one's Wednesday and Thursday, you're going to get 2 of the Dark Hunger. And keep in mind, those are the items you need the 300 mil item for to make. So you're already going to get 4 right out of the gate that aren't going to cost you anything, which is pretty nice. And then you're going to get some of the ones that you would swap the seals for as well. You're going to get an additional 8 of those to put in. So not counting the 4 free ones, you can have 24 total there, and then the free ones will be a 28 that you can potentially do should you choose to exchange all of them, which I think for most people it will. Obviously it is a lot of silver, but I don't know, you spend a lot more silver trying to actually just build stacks most of the time, unless you're salt. Who knows? You can also log in. You're going to get daily seals for it, the same items that you get for the fishing, gathering, whatever, for it to exchange. So you're likely going to have a ton of these to be able to pick up the other things that you want other than just the enhancement items. I'll definitely be looking for the 100 stack in that costume as well if I can get them both. But I'm pretty confident with enough grinding as much as we do, should be fine. So there you have it. Hopefully that made that pretty clear. Let's move on forward talking about content updates, and we have the class changes here. So we've got a lot of PvE buffs for some PvP buffs, and a few PvP nerfs as well. And then I guess a PvE nerf for some of these. So we'll read the dev note, and then the ones that don't have dev notes we'll kind of briefly cover with what's going on each one here. First up, the warrior we have with his agile movements and grab skill. The Awakening Warrior is a good example of a class well balanced in attack and defense power in PvP. However, we felt that the grave digging skill's movement speed reduction debuff was a bit too efficient, so we made adjustments to its duration. We also felt Warrior's all DP increase buffs were a bit excessive, so we made adjustments so they no longer stack on top of each other. Ranger, we've expanded the usage of Succession Ranger's signature skill Prime Ultimate Blasting Gust by first increasing its damage, thereby also improving its potential for PvE, while also changing its defensive effect from Super Armor to Forward Guard, making the skill useful for normal to high-end monster zones. Sorc, we see just kind of some PvE damage increase pretty much across the board there. We get a critical hit rate plus 40% in PvE on Karshan's Nightmare as well. Zerk also see some PvE damage increases as well, and then on Feral Rage in Succession it's getting some critical hit rate added just for PvE. Tamer, we have the Awakening Tamer bore a weak arsenal of opening skills, and her defensive effects were somewhat lacking, causing her previous PvP strength in one-on-one duels to dissipate. Thus, we removed the bound debuff while added the Forward Guard effect to increase. Yeah, we missed a word there somewhere. To increase its defensive capabilities. For Moonlight Strike, we changed the movement distance buff granted under the Resonance Azure Dragon effect as an inherent buff, thereby strengthening Moonlight Strike's usage as an opener. Lastly, we wanted to increase the sense of Hailing protecting your Tamer. So now when you use Hailing Howling, Hailing will appear to intercept any aggressive enemies approaching your Tamer. So suppose some buffs there, although I still hear the Tamers cry about it. Musa got some PvE nerfs, essentially Succession Musa, which is one of the best PvE classes in the game right now. It's actually getting kind of an interesting nerf to it. So Prime Cyclone Slash, Gale, and Blooming are getting reduced damage during cooldown while it's on cooldown. So 28.6% on Cyclone Slash, 36% Gale, and about 16% on Blooming just during the cooldown. So the skills themselves are not actually losing the damage just when they're used on cooldown, so you can't spam them with the same amount of viability. Meiwa, not much here. We got Frost Flower, the flow rather, in Awakening. Change the knockdown and down smash debuffs and extra attacks to down smash on attack 1 hit and knockdown on the extra hits with it. Then a couple of issue fixes beyond that. Valkyrie, like the Succession Ranger, we decided to increase the power of Succession Valkyrie's signature skill, Sword of Judgment. Now when you use Prime Celestial Spear, you'll activate the Celestial Eye buff, which will add 1 hit if you use Ultimate Sword of Judgment within 7 seconds of Prime Celestial Spear. We also improved those skill effects to be more appropriate for the Valkyrie, administering such judgment upon her foes. In addition, we increased the damage for Judgmental Light, further improving her PvE capabilities, while also adjusting the visual effects of Divine Power to match the range of the actual skill. Next up, we have Ninja and Kuno. For Kuno, we got quite a bit here. We increased the spin attack speed of Awakening Kuno Ichi's signature skill, Lethal Spin Spree, thereby increasing its utility, while also improving the skills it can be comboed from and into. While we made slight tweaks to her skill damage, we hold high expectations that the changes mentioned above will greatly improve her speed and flow of skills in battle. Also, we have enhanced Awakening Kuno's uniqueness by improving her skill effects. We received feedback from our previous update that only Succession saw updates to the skill effects, so we hope these changes will be pleasing in the eyes of our Awakening players. So visual upgrades, along with looks like a little bit of PvE boost there. Ninja also sees some PvE increase in pretty much just damage, and then a few issue fixes across the board too. Witch and Wizard, we get grouped together here. They're getting a little bit of increase. For the Awakened Witch and Wizard, Elementalization was changed to now be comboable from other skills, thereby increasing the utility of the skill's newly added Invincibility while moving, defensive effect. We've also increased the damage of the Witch and Wizard's Marg and Arn, Gore, and Tet, respectively, so their minions will now appear as more powerful allies in PvE. In addition, we reduced the cooldown of Prime multiple magic arrows for Succession Witch. We felt this was needed as you could combo this skill with other skills, but its rather inconvenient cooldown duration made it a somewhat unappealing combo option. So then they could just kind of give you the breakdown on those independently for it. Next up, we have Dark Knight, and the note here, we focus these changes on improving Succession Dark Knight's performance in PvP. First, we changed Prime Lunacy of Vidir's Bound debuff to only apply in PvE, while Prime Airstrike and Prime Ravage Rate gain super armor and forward guard defensive effects, respectively. Just to note on Airstrike, it's still an iframe, and then when you're actually doing the CC portion or the actual attack, it was unprotected before, it's now super armor, so you can potentially iframe into the protected CC, you lose the protected CC off of Lunacy, and then you'll go straight into Vidir Strike from there for a lot of free damage. We hope these improvements will provide more safety for Succession Dark Knights when they penetrate enemy lines and initiate combat. We also revamped their resource costs, MP and Stamina. First, with the addition of Super Armor to Prime Airstrike, we changed its resource from MP to Stamina, while Unveiled Dagger was changed from consuming Stamina to MP. Second, we reduced the stamina cost for Prime Twilight Dash from 300 to 200, which we felt more appropriate for the distance traveled by the skill. Last but not least, we changed how Prime Nocturne and Prime Comma Slash activate by transferring a portion of the command inputs from the former skill to the latter, thus improving the utility of using both skills depending on specific situations. So now you can actually Comma Slash using it's a forward guard knockdown, the only knockdown DK has. You can actually Twilight Dash and then Comma Slash into it when you press right mouse button instead of that really wonky Nocturne skill that used to get used that was completely useless. So you actually Comma Slash there, and you can also charge your Comma Slash, and instead of Smoky Haze or Dusk to use it, you can RMB, and it will put you behind the opponent and Comma Slash from there instead. So instead of trying to double dusk behind them or maybe position with Smoky Haze, you can literally right mouse click and go ahead and get behind them immediately. So pretty nice. We'll see how that plays out. Striker, we have some Succession, insert air quotes here, nerfs. They removed a few hits on quite a few skills actually, and Roaring Tiger just flat out had damage reduced in PvE. We'll see how that plays out. I'm sure it's still going to be a top grinding class regardless. On to Lahn. We improved Succession Lahn by lessening the burden of prep time and animations and distance traveled for her skills. For Eye of the Phoenix, which is not a movement skill, we removed the stamina cost, converted it to WP, while also reducing the stamina cost of Dismemberment, an offensive buff skill, to 100. For Prime Cymbidium, we made it so you can now also restore stamina during the skill's charge attack. We're going to continue to keep an eye on Succession Lahn and her movements in correlation to her skill's stamina costs. For Awakened Lahn, we further polished our skills for PvP. First off, we reduced the somewhat excessive attack range of her Awakening's signature skill Soul Raid and increased its cooldown, but with feedback stating that it was difficult to maintain the current skill with this increase, we decided to reduce the cooldown by 2 seconds. To help Lahn up her combat game, we added an evasion reduction rate -6% debuff to Tailspin, while also changing Earthly Pain's all DP -15 debuff to -20. Lastly, taking Blood Moon Twist's slow cast time into consideration, we decided to make the skill comboable after Bloody Stride and Flow Vice to increase its utility. Heading over to Archer. Archer's Full Bloom had been changed to utilize the ranged area of effect damage of Flow Grand Bloom when the latter skill was learned. However, while such a change was relevant when facing against a multitude of monsters, it did not fare so well in high-end monster zones. Therefore, we made it so that if you lock Flow Grand Bloom, you'll be able to activate Full Bloom instead, and we made slight adjustments to its melee attack damage so that the skill would still be relevant in high-end monster zones. The new crossbow skill Sunfall fits the Archer's class theme. Using the skill allows your Archer to activate Seeds of Light in the air, which turn into light-forged arrows or summons that rain down upon your foes. While not dealing massive damage, we hope this skill will still help supplement your damage when used with desperation moves in high-end zones such as Quint Hill. Heading over to Shai. This one's a little controversial for sure. Shai has flooring skills capable of dealing many hits and applying devastating DP reduction to debuffs. This created a synergy effect where Shai could keep attacking small groups of monsters for a long period of time for maximum efficiency. Thus, we sought to make adjustments to the aforementioned traits unique only to Shai that gave them a rather overtly effective advantage. Despite these adjustments, we made it so that this update would keep her at similar power levels as before while facing off against small groups of powerful monsters in Elvia Quint Hill or Gyphonracia Temple Underground, thereby retaining the threat of her Florang against mightier foes. Up for Guardian, we made adjustments to the damage of certain skills to increase the Awakened Guardian's capabilities for both PvE and PvP. For PvP, we especially changed the motion of Neck Impaler. As a grapple skill, we purposely designed it with slow animations, but due to several changes to other classes, the skills become more difficult to use in battle. Thus, we decided to change Neck Impaler to be used while charging forward, thereby increasing its utility. For Succession Guardian, we felt that she needed a few adjustments for her PvE capabilities, so we increased the damage of her major skills such as Prime Mountain Slam, Avalanche Strike, and Mutilation. Hash has just a couple of issue fixes, nothing major there. Nova, on the other hand. First of all, Succession Nova has the lowest PvE ability. We've increased her PvE capabilities by increasing guards and Axion damage. Awakening Nova's Brutal Ring was intended to be mainly used in PvE or over PvP. However, at this point it was determined that this skill should be used in more diverse situations, so it can inflict a certain amount of damage in PvP, and added Star's Breath recovery to speed up on guard. The core skill of Awakening Nova... they put a period there for no reason. That's why I read that as a separate sentence. In addition, the main feature of Awakening Nova is that it shows astonishing abilities in Excel, but it was difficult to use Excel at the right moment because it consumes a lot of stamina in the process of reaching on guard. Therefore, the burden of on stamina has been reduced in Excel so that Awakening Nova can show moves that better suit Excel. Up for Sage. We've improved Succession Sage for PvE. The Rift Chain skill boasted excellent movement fluidity, and the Super Armor defensive effect gave it an added advantage. Therefore, we added additional defensive effects to other skills in the past. However, recent additions of high-end monster zones proved to be a bit taxing for Sage. Therefore, we bolstered his arsenal of skills by adding Forward Guard to Prime Spatial Fissure and an Energized Thorn to increase stability. They marked that as one word. Increased stability, increasing the skill damage of Illusion Expansion and Spatial Collapse to improve survivability in high-end zones, removing the debuffs applied by Prime Spearbolt and Prime Riftstorm, but strengthening their magic AP, increased buffs to improve offensive capabilities. For Awakening Sage, we improved the stamina cost for Spearbolt and Flow Aftershock, and increased the damage of certain skills for PvE. Now we have Corsair. Both Awakening and Succession Corsair didn't show great performance in PvE with high-end monster zones that required high DP. We've increased survivability by adding invincibility for PvE during riding waves, which is used by both Awakening and Succession. In addition, there were many cases where the slippery scallywags caused difficulties in battle by attacking unintended targets, so we've made improvements to prevent this via the Pirate's Life for Me, Light 'em Up, and No Mercy scallywag skills for Awakening Corsair. We're going to keep checking and adjusting. And now for the big one, Drakania. Since Succession Drakania is shown in both offensive and survival capabilities, we decided to reduce her offensive abilities. We adjusted her offensive abilities so they are more in line with other characters' offensive abilities since her damage reduction rate was set too low from the beginning. Additionally, we'll keep checking Succession Drakania's PvE and PvP performance, and we'll keep updating her as necessary. In general, Succession Drakania got some pretty massive PvP nerfs. You can see just the numbers here: 43 to 60% reduction rate, 36 to 58, 34 to 57. In addition to, they changed how her ions are going to charge as well, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to have ions to just slam those skills out, and they flat out do less damage. Moving on, just so you know, we have the Termian beach zone is back to a safe zone. It's actually been done. That entire event is done. And then this one that I know a lot of people are happy about: remove the CADRY runes battlefield from the Arena of Solar ranked and practice mode matches, which makes sense because it didn't make sense, and I think everyone hated it. So everybody can rejoice at that one single sentence: we did it. Item update: we have an adjustment to the Shell Bell armor that's coming up. You can actually swap the current one that you've got if you want to. Location of Dim Tree Spirit, when you have him when you have him spawned up, he's been moved just to be a little more out of the way from other things. Issue fixes, tweaks, UI update, the usual from here. So let's jump on over to the Pearl shop. So first up, we have the Limit Break Pearl Box, 10,000 and 20,000 here. Little bonuses if you want to drop 100 or 200 bucks on these bad boys. You're going to get some discount coupons and Mystical Cron Stone bundles as well. This is like the Mystical Artisan bundles, except it is Cron Stones. So you roll the dice on that and see how many crons you get. Anywhere from 50 to 2,000. Of course, it's very likely you get a lower amount. Next up, we have the new outfit, which is for Wizard. It is the Chronosmith. Listen, I don't know who decided to pop this bad boy hairstyle here, but nice, dude, that you did it. Anyways, 3,400 pearls for the Chronosmith premium set, as per usual on that. We have the new Shucked Shell Bell outfit box available if you want it. I don't know why anyone would want this outfit, because it's not like people like to look at boobs or anything, so I'll definitely be picking that up. We've got 50% Hexa Premium Pack, 6 outfit boxes at 50% off, plain and simple on that one. And then we've got a standard Hexa Premium outfit, which is still 33% off. It's going to have 6 of those outfits and 6 Mystical Cron Stone bundles on top of it, so I guess pay to win those crons big time right now. Premium Outfit Box 2 is also available. It's got one of the Mystical Cron Stone bundles along with it. It's 25.50 pearls. A little price break on that one. We've got Limit Break Pack for 35.85. It's 100 Artisans, 30 Valk's Cry, a 40 stack, and then a Mystical Custom Enhancement Pack. The level 2, 67.25 pearls. It's got 200 Artisans, 60 Valk's Cry, and then you choose your Mystical Cron Stone bundle times 4, and then choose your Limit Breaks 2, a Advice of Valk's 60 stack, and then a custom box of Convenience. Weekly Enhancement Pack is going to be available for 675 pearls. You can purchase it 5 times per week, which is quite a bit. 675 pearls, 20 artisans, and those 20 mem frags, 5 item drop scrolls, then 15 pure magical stones or 5 flawless magical black stones, depending on which ones you want to pick up there. We've got a daily cron stone pack for 80 pearls, and it's got 50 crons. We have the Limit Break Golden Bell, which is 360 pearls. It's got 1 golden bell, and then 5 item drop scrolls, 2 blessed message, and 3 300% XP scrolls. I haven't seen bells in there in a long time. I didn't know people actually pick those up still. Then we've got Corsair Limit Pack. It's 1050 pearls. It's got 6 skill change coupons, an unbridled celerity draft, a Corsair's aura, and then choose of your choice of 10 of the Dream Horse 2% materials. We've got JoJo and Friends 2310 pearls there. It's got JoJo the bird in there, some Kenpacho tablets, and then choose an additional pet to go with that. It does have Polar Bear and Hedgehog in there as well. And we've got an enhanced blessing at Kamasilv, like we had the Book of Old Moon previously. It's 1250 pearls. You'll get that 15-day blessing at Kamasilv, as well as 10 item drop scrolls and 3 Supreme Old Moon scrolls to go with it. And then we have the weekly outfit that is on sale this week. It is the Archer Derictus premium set at 2720 pearls per usual. So there you have it for this week's patch notes and Pearl Shop. Let me know what you guys think about what's going on in the comments down below. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to like it. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe so you get notifications when new videos do go live. And if you'd like to catch me playing live, there's a link to my Twitch page in the description down below. Jump on over there, drop a follow so you get notifications for that as well. With that said, that's going to be it for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and I will see you next time.